Ever find yourself staring at something you know you can't really afford, but you want it so bad, almost just to prove you can have it? Well, today we're going to get into the psychology behind that exact feeling, why we spend money we don't have to signal status, and how that very instinct might be the thing keeping you broke.
All right, let's just jump right in with a little thought experiment. Picture two plain white t-shirts. I mean, they're identical. Same cotton, probably made in the same factory. They do the exact same job. But one costs $10, the other, $500. Now, Basic Economics 101 says everyone should buy the $10 shirt, right? But we all know that's not what happens. That $500 shirt sells out. And here's the crazy part. It sells out because it's so ridiculously expensive.
And you know what? This isn't just some weird thing with fashion. This is deep. The source material for this explainer calls it a glitch in the human operating system, and man, that's the perfect way to describe it. It's a glitch that has huge real-world consequences for our finances. And it's not about you being bad with money. This is part of our evolutionary wiring, and it's being totally exploited.
So, of course, this glitch has a name. It's called the Veblen paradox, and it basically flips the entire law of supply and demand on its head. For certain things, the more expensive they are, the more we want them. And why is that? Because that insane price tag, it's not a bug, it's the main feature. It's all about signaling status.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this paradox, we've got to go back in time, back to the guy who first put his finger on it. Let's dig into Veblen's theory of waste.
Picture this. It's 1899, the Gilded Age. You've got families like the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers with just an unbelievable amount of wealth. And this economist, Thorstein Veblen, he's looking at all this and thinking, something's not right. These people were buying things that were not just useless, but were actually impractical. Think like silver spoons so heavy you could barely lift them. He realized that the standard economic models, all based on utility or usefulness, were completely useless for explaining what the rich were doing.
And this is where we get to Veblen's big aha moment. He basically said, the most efficient way to prove you have high status is to publicly waste resources. Think about that. For the super rich, the whole point of their spending wasn't about getting something useful. It was about showing everyone I can literally burn a pile of money on something totally frivolous and not even flinch. That was the ultimate power move. And Veblen came up with a perfect term for this: conspicuous consumption. It's buying stuff not because it's good, but because it's a powerful public signal. You're not just buying a watch to tell time. You're buying a billboard for your wrist that screams, I have so much cash, I can afford to do this. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting, because this instinct, it goes deep. It's basically the human version of a peacock's tail. I mean, think about it. That giant flashy tail is a massive pain. It's heavy, it slows the peacock down, it makes it a super easy target for predators. But that's the whole point. It's a signal to potential mates that says, look at me. I am so strong, so fit, that I can survive in spite of this ridiculous handicap. Conspicuous consumption, it works the exact same way for us.
So, this brings us to the most important takeaway here. For pretty much everything we buy, the price is a barrier, right? It's something we have to get over. But for Veblen goods, the price is the feature. The value of a Rolex isn't just that it tells time. Its value is in its exclusion. The fact that most people can't just go out and buy one is exactly what makes it so desirable to the people who can. Seriously, if Rolex suddenly cut its prices in half, the brand would probably collapse overnight because the signal would be totally gone.
But, and this is a big but, here's where the whole thing gets kind of tragic. Let's shift gears and see how this all plays out for the rest of us, for everyone else caught in what you could call the middle-class status trap.
Veblen also spotted another key human behavior, pecuniary emulation. It's a fancy term for a simple idea. We have this tendency to look at the people one step above us on the social ladder and copy what they buy. We see their luxury car, their designer bag, and we think, I want to send that signal too. I want people to think I'm successful.
And this kicks off a really vicious cycle. It's like a treadmill of consumption that you can never, ever get off of. Here's how it works. First, the elites pick up some new, exclusive status symbol. Then, the middle class stretches their budget, goes into debt, whatever it takes, to copy that signal. But the second that signal becomes common, it loses all its power, right? It's not exclusive anymore. So what happens? The elites just abandon it and move on to something new, something even more expensive to separate themselves again. And the chase begins all over. You're stuck running in a race that you are mathematically designed to lose. And this is the devastating trade-off. When you're chasing the appearance of wealth, Buying appreciating liabilities like a fancy car or a designer bag just to send a signal to strangers, you are literally destroying the actual mechanism of wealth. You are trading your compounding assets, the real engine of your financial freedom, for stuff that loses value the second you take it out of the store. You're sacrificing your future self for your present self's ego.
So, the big question is, how do you break the spell? How do you hop off that treadmill? Well, the answer isn't about willpower. It's about a complete and total mindset shift. Let's talk about the freedom of what's called stealth wealth.
Here's the solution. You redefine the entire game. In the world we live in today, the ultimate status symbol, it isn't stuff, it's not a car, it's not a watch. The true status symbol is freedom. It's having options. It's owning your own time. Adopting this stealth wealth mindset means you really have to internalize a few key ideas. First, you got to decouple your self-worth from your net worth. They are not the same thing. You have to understand that real wealth is the stuff you don't see. The true status is having the financial cushion to just walk away from a job you hate. It's about choosing to value the quiet, silent power of compounding interest over the loud, obnoxious noise of consumption.
Now, I really want you to let this next definition sink in, because it's a powerful way to reframe everything. Wealth is the nice cars you didn't purchase. It's the diamonds you didn't buy. It's the first-class upgrades you declined. Wealth is the pile of financial assets that you haven't converted into stuff yet. It's the discipline of not buying the flashy car, so that instead, you can buy your own freedom.
So here's a super practical tool you can start using right now. The next time you feel that pull, that desire for some expensive purchase, just stop. Pause for a second and ask yourself one simple question. Am I buying this for what it does or for what I think it says about me to other people? And that brings us to the final and maybe the most powerful question of all. This one really cuts right to the heart of it. If you were the last person on Earth, no one to impress, no social ladder to climb, would you still want that thing? Your answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know. It'll tell you if you're mastering your money or if you're still a slave to a psychological glitch that's over 100 years old.